Star Citizen 4.4 is quite literally around the corner, possibly just a few weeks away as IAE is swiftly approaching. With that being said, a lot of information has been divulged and released to us either via the pipeline, Evocardi members who have tested the game out itself hitting the Nick system, or just through generalized leaks on Reddit and Spectrum. There is a lot on the way, so much so that this is possibly going to be CIG's biggest update for the entire year. I'm talking about the Nick system, ships, and many more things to come here in the near future. When I say near, I mean very near, hopefully before the end of the month. But hey, today we're going to go over all of that in today's episode of Squawk Talk. It's FC, aka Fried Chicken here, and welcome back to the channel for another video. With Star Citizen 4.4 swiftly approaching us, hopefully by the start or the end of IAE, we should expect a lot. Things like Levski, brand new ships, and brand new gameplay activities that we should be able to partake in once this patch goes live. And the reason why I know some of this stuff is going to be hitting us very soon is because the Evocardi are leaking the information. People are talking about it, and there are videos surfacing all over the internet about Nick's system, Levski, and what is to come in 4.4. And if you've been paying attention to the pipeline, you would know that the PTU is starting to warm up as Evocardi PTU has already gone live. So we should expect in a couple weeks to see the PTU hit wave 1, so majority of the generalized public will be able to access the Nick system and all the brand new gameplay rules, mechanics, and other things that may be introduced in this patch. Over the past weekend, a lot of information has been divulged to us on the pipeline. A lot of information telling us what is to come for IAE in the form of ships. So the first ship we know about is going to be the RSI Perseus. Can't wait for that gunboat to drop, but then a couple other ones that may surprise some people and one that I actually predicted. So let's talk about it. Some of the other ships that are going to be releasing to us is going to be the RSI Hermes, which is supposedly going to be an Apollo variant. Then the Greycat MDC, which I feel like is going to be the medical version of the ATC, and then one I predicted, which is going to be the Kruger L-22 Wolf, which is probably going to be the bespoke laser variant of the Wolf. Then the Drake Clipper, which is a ship that's shrouded in mystery, and then the RSI Salvation, which is supposed to be another entry-level salvaging ship, but this time made by RSI. Let's now briefly go over these ships so we can talk about what is actually out there that we know about what is to come. And we're going to start this off with the long awaited for and highly anticipated RSI Perseus. Today, November 3rd, marks the beginning of a brand new ship giveaway brought to you by CIG. Now, this giveaway actually contains a lot of really awesome items, starting off with the ship, a Grey's SHIV with lifetime insurance, and then a Star Citizen's game package. And then right after that, you're going to get something unexpected, a CitizenCon goodie pack that contains everything inside of it, from all of the armaments to the weapons included. All you got to do in order to enter this giveaway is 1. Be a subscriber, and 2. Comment on any video in between the time period of November 3rd through the 30th for a chance to win. Now, everyone is talking about the next big capital ship to enter the verse, and that is going to be the RSI Perseus. This thing is going to move mountains and cause a lot of waves within the verse, especially the way how people are going to approach battle when it comes to these big capital class ships. This thing is going to bully ships, especially with the amount of firepower that it comes with. It comes with 20 size 5 torpedoes, and then it has those 2 humongous size 8 turrets, one on the front and one on the rear, to cover every side of the ship. And I do believe that this vessel will also come with PDCs. Someone correct me if I am wrong. And there's also going to be some smaller turrets on the sides to protect its port and starboard side, just so you don't get side blinded. I am probably sure CIG is not going to allow people to fly this vessel till RSI Day hits IAE, just because we do have a good inkling that everything is pretty much done. This ship is in its final production phase. They're just touching it up, making sure all the lighting, audio, and everything else matches properly before they throw it out to the live build. I do not know if they're going to allow us to play with it in the PTU before it hits the live build. They did that with the Star Lancer last IAE, so they may do it with this vessel. We just got to wait and find out to see what happens, because It's, like I said, another capital class ship being introduced into the verse, and everyone is very excited. Everyone who owns this vessel is just waiting for it to drop, including yours truly. There's just so much hype for this vessel. Let's continue on to the very next ship, and that's going to be the RSI Hermes. The information that we know about the Hermes is that it's supposed to be an Apollo variant, so rocking the same chassis, different style of layout for the internals, and a couple other things here and there. Just by looking at the leaked images that was put out by the pipeline, we know that it's going to be a cargo ship. Since we do not have drones for the base Apollo, I have a good feeling that they're going to use those humongous doors on the bottom of the Apollo to use as your main cargo lift to get things in and out of the ship. They are probably going to open and widen the rear hatch just so you're able to slide larger pieces of cargo like 32 SCU crates in and out of the ship without causing too many issues. I feel like it's going to have a lift akin to the lift that are on the Constellation series, just because it would fit and function perfectly for a ship of this size. Next up is going to be the Greycat MDC, which what I feel like is going to be a variant of the Greycat ATC. So this is probably going to be a medical variant of the MDC. I feel like that they're going to remove the armor lockers in the ATC and throw a medical bed there, because I feel like it would fit perfectly to throw a medical bed right there in the back, which would be really cool. I would pick this up if that is the case. So far, there's not a lot of images or sources out there telling us what this vehicle actually is. We just have to go off of its name, which is the MDC, which is akin to the ATC. So it should be a variant vehicle. So just keep that in mind when it comes out. I can't wait to see what it is. If it is a medical variant and if it's like in that $40 to $50 range, it's going to be a scoop for me. And I'm curious if they're going to throw in a size 3 or a size 2 medical bed in the back of this vehicle. Now, the only reason why I'm speculating it being an ATC version is because of what is happening with Fractured Frontiers. There is a reward skin for phase 2, which is an ATC skin or a MDC skin. So only time will tell. I just feel like that they're kind of like leading us on with small little hints and stuff with the rewards in the current event. Now let's talk about the next one, which is one I predicted during a previous Squawk Talk, and that is going to be the Kruger Intergalactic L22 Wolf, which in my opinion is going to be the laser bespoke version of the L21 Wolf. Now, I don't expect there to be a huge amount of changes between the two vessels, since they're pretty much the same ship, just, one's rocking lasers. Maybe it'll pitch in yaw a little slower just because it may have to hold heavier components to compensate for the ammo or the batteries that is going to power the laser beams. Or maybe it's going to be the other way around. I don't know. There's a lot of speculation on it, and so we just got to wait and find out and see what happens. But now let's continue on. The next ship is shrouded in mystery. People are now calling it the Miniature Corsair, but its official name is going to be the Drake Clipper. It looks like an amalgamation of a bunch of other ships all put together into one form. If you look at the human next to the ship, you can tell that this vessel is not going to be a super small ship. It's going to be probably medium sized. Now for the gameplay role of this vessel, it's still unclear and unknown, but if you take a look at the cargo crate next to the human with this image, you can probably take a wild guess what this ship could possibly be used for. It could be used for either cargo, or one of the silhouettes, in my opinion, looks like the 3D printers that CITCON showed off for crafting, so maybe a little bit of base building. We don't know just because there's no information, but hopefully there will be some leaks here in the next coming weeks that'll divulge what the Clipper actually is. Knowing Drake, it's probably going to be something creative, since Drake has majority of all the gameplay rules in the game with their brand. They have data running, salvage, mining, regular combat, cargo running. They have it all. Will they have base building next, or bombing? Who knows? We just gotta wait and find out. Last but not least, let's talk about the brand new RSI entry-level salvaging ship, the Salvation. Now, there are a few images out there on speculation of what this ship is supposed to look like. 3 of them actually provided by CIG during one of their Inside Star Citizen lives, where they were doing some work on this ship, trying to show it off. So we should expect one of these models to be a new ship that is coming out here in the near future during IAE. Now, only time will tell what type of salvage ship this will be and if it's going to be useful or not versus its competitors, which is going to be the Fortune and the Vulture out there. Realistically, it'll depend on how much SCU this thing can hold. If you watched my previous upload, you would know that engineering gameplay is on its way. There is a lot of brand new game mechanics that is going to be introduced to us here very soon. People who are in Evo are talking about what is to come. Fires, ship component maintenance, and then also possible missions and stuff as well coming to the near future. Engineering is going to be here, and it's going to change the way how we approach our ships and how we decide to fly as well in the verse. Fires inside of your ships is going to become a key gameplay mechanic that you're going to have to go through every time you happen to go under fire from an enemy who is hounding you down. Ships, components, and parts are going to overload, they're going to burst, and your ship is going to be in danger on the inside. So you're going to have to actually use your fire extinguisher or have a crew member on these bigger ships to be able to maintain the ship so you don't go down in a burst of flames. Now, for you bigger ship flyers out there, it does not mean you still can't solo fly them, because a lot of the smaller vessels out there just aren't able to penetrate the shields of these big cap class ships. But keep in mind though that ballistics are able to penetrate through the shields and go straight to the hull. So someone who's rocking ballistics can cause damage, and if there's anything of armor piercing, then it can easily go straight to your components and cause issues that will cause a fire to break out, especially if components gets overloaded and goes critical. So you may think twice about flying one of those bigger ships out there solo. Make sure you bring a friend just in case you need an engineer down below in the bowels of your vessel to maintain the components. Now, I do know that some people in my previous video talked about how that this type of micromanaging your ship could cause people to steer away from the game, but you have to realize we've been playing this game on easy mode, and that this was the entire big picture of the game in general. They wanted us to be able to fully, work on our vessels in the past, and it is now more or less coming to light. So keep that in mind when you think about the way how we have to maintain our ships in a different way once engineering comes online. And that is going to be a wrap for today's video. Again, we talked about a lot of information. We went over all the brand new ships, what is to come with engineering, and the Nick system, which is going to be dropping hopefully before or after IAE. We do not know because CAG has been a little hush-hush. So everyone who's paying attention, keep an eye on the pipeline, keep an eye on Reddit for Star Citizen leaks to drop more information, which is where a lot of us is getting our information. Keep an eye on evil playtesters. They are now uploading videos talking about their experiences because they're allowed to talk about it. They're not allowed to show, but they can talk. Leaks are dropping everywhere because this is going to be Star Citizen's biggest content drop of the year. And I can't wait to see what's happening. I can't wait to return to Levski, go to an old home I haven't been to in about 5 years. It's going to be fun. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. But yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who came out for today's Squawk Talk. Really do appreciate it and all that other good stuff. Please don't forget that I am hosting a giveaway for the brand new gray SHIV. I always want to call it Drake because it looks like a cutlass, but blah. But please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Please slap that like button because it really does help put more eyes onto the biggest bird in the verse. And for those who wish to financially support my channel, I do have my memberships open and accepting super chat donations. But yeah, you guys already know who it is. It's FC, aka Fried Chicken. Big Bird out.